let's get started with the theme, our today's theme. We're talking about bubble certification. Probably most of you guys have already heard from it. You probably know what it is about. Um, but I wanted to discuss some relevant topics that I truly believe. And despite some noise in the market, uh, I'm a, I'm a really strong defensor. I'm really strong a soldier of the certification and of its value. So that's why I decided to bring this topic to this event today. And before before I start sharing my screen, let me just thank you all for joining that day. It's a whole day, it's a full day dedicated to you, to us, Bubble developers or aspiring Bubble developers. And it's an event that has been planned for quite some time. There's a lot of effort involved behind the scenes. Kelly and Sarah that organized the event are working on it for quite some time now, and it's awesome getting here today uh, in real life. I mean, actually happening. And thanks for joining. And let's start it. Let me see if my screen sharing works. It's my first time using Zoho Meeting, so let me know if everything goes well. There's this picture in picture. Do you see my my presentation? Uh, uh, um, okay. Do you also see my camera or only the presentation? It's only in black, right? Yeah, it's only black for me too. So I'm gonna remove this picture in picture. Ah, you see the camera also? Okay. Now you also see the camera. Okay, great. Because there were this picture in picture, but only with the black square. Okay. Um, Before talking about the presentation, let me introduce myself. Maybe some of you already know me, but others don't. My name is Pedro Duarte. I've been really deep in bubble world, in our bubble, for about 5 years now. I've worked on projects around the globe, helped train a couple of hundred devs, and was part of the first group to get officially certified by Bubble. And today I want to talk to you not just about what the certification is, but especially why it matters, why it's so important for us to put real effort on this. Um, I know you can look to some noise, as I've mentioned a little earlier. Some people say the XM is too basic, or that clients don't ask for it. It's not worth it. It's not worth the effort to it, and I totally understand this this thought, but I just don't agree with it because I'm gonna build this understanding with you guys now over the next hour or so, but there's a huge difference. There's a huge gap that separates non-certified devs and certified devs. And I'm not talking about knowledge. I'm talking about commitment. I'm talking about how this developer, how this professional wants to build their image to the public, to clients, to companies, to agencies, and etc. Yeah, you can think 49 bucks means something to bubble final results, but I can assure you it's not. Uh, only the proctoring system is more expensive than $49. So it's more in order to separate who's only playing with it and who's taking it seriously. So I believe in this approach. I'm also a Bubble ambassador. I'm a member of the certification advisory committee, helping improve the XM, helping to make it better and to make it more relevant also. Something that really meant to me after the last BubbleCon on last year's October was being able to see how the company is committed into actually making the XM matter to the market. Not only for us developers or for them as the company, but also to the market as a whole. One of the main aspects, in my perspective, about the certification is not exactly knowing what the XM is or which are its rules, that we will cover all of them, but especially what's the impact it has on our careers. On last December, second half of December, I ran a research in our agency scenario. Naturally, this data is from December, and it has changed since then, but it gives us some important clues, gives us some important data on how the certification correlates or not with the agency's results or the pricing point or the project's volume. And this is what I wanted to start sharing with you guys, because it gives us a clearer view on what happens to people that are committed to the XM and what happens to others that don't. And it's interesting to think on it and to reflect on it. Okay, so as I mentioned, this data is from December, last December. So things have changed, but the overall logic remains the same. Here, I'm starting with the unclassified agencies. We have around 200 unclassified agencies. So these are agencies that are listed on Bubble's agencies directory, agencies and freelancers. These agencies are made of an average of 1.5 developers. So we can say that most of them are just one-person armies, so one-person companies, and other ones with 2 or 3 maximum developers. And these agencies charge an average of $41 per hour. And they have delivered on average between 6 and 7 apps over their history, over their lifetime. It's interesting to think that the only rule for one of these agencies are unclassified. The only rule that separates them from bronze agencies, which is the first level, the first tier of classified agencies, the fact that they are made of certified devs. So if we think that Most of these agencies are made of only one developer. If this developer gets certified, this agency immediately jumps from non-classified to bronze tier. It's the only thing that separates this unclassified to a bronze tier. And if we see here, if we notice here that the average result for this unclassified agency, the average hourly rate is $41, and for the bronze tier, the average rate is $45 hourly. It's a 10% higher rate. I don't know you guys, but for me, if I could charge 10% more on my services, it would make a huge difference on my budget. So if an agency can increase their how can I say it? English is not my main language, so sometimes some words just don't show up. But if they can increase the money they charge in 10%, it would be extremely significant. Am I saying anything crazy? Not exactly their profit, Stella. I will find a word in a while, but if you could increase your revenue, it's the word. If you could increase your revenue by 10%, I'm pretty sure it would make a lot of difference in your budget. The same happens to these agencies. So we have around 200 unclassified agencies, around 70 bronze agencies, and we can see here how they are spread around the world. After bronze, we have the silver agencies. Bronze, the difference between a bronze agency and a silver agency is how many developers, the percentage of certified developers, but also the revenue they generate from their clients to the platform, to Bubble. I'm not going deep on these rules today. It's more to give you a clearer view on the direct impact the certification has on agencies' results. A silver agency can also charge 10% more than bronze agencies. If an unclassified agency charges $41 average, a bronze agency charges $45 average, and a silver agency charges $49 average per hour. It's 10% more bronze and 20% more than unclassified. So the simple fact that you are scaling the tiers allows you to charge more. Each step you grow, it increases your hourly rate in 10%. We look through this angle, $49 doesn't seem that much, right? If I can charge $5 more per hour in one day, 1.5 days, I pay these $50, and the rest of the year, the rest of the 364 days of the year are just profit. Okay? And the higher tier on agencies program is the gold tier. Gold tier agencies go from $49 hourly to $61 hourly. If you notice here, the increase now is by 20%. It's not 10% anymore. You jump from, my camera is frozen. Interesting here on my preview, I see it fine. Yeah, maybe your connection or something temporary. But thanks for the heads up. So if you jump from a silver agency to a gold agency, your hourly rate increases by 20%, more than 20% actually. So when we now compare the unclassified agency tier from $41 hourly to a gold agency tier, it jumps from, it increases $20 per hour on average. So Pedro, you're saying that just being a certified dev allows me to play the gold tier game or to charge way more than a not certified dev. I'm not saying it. This is not a simple correlation. What I'm saying is, if you want to play the gold game, getting certified is the minimum you must do. Naturally, you need to be a good developer. Naturally, you have to work hard to create experience, to create more knowledge base, to have more actual, really real results to show. But if you have all of this, if you have this experience, if you are really good on as a developer, you might be you might not be an option for some good opportunities just due to the fact that you're not certified. Because maybe if they hire you, they might lose the gold tier due to the percentage that's required. So it's not a exactly direct relation, but it's a pretty close correlation. Okay, it's just to show some more, to give more context on the agency scenario and how it connects with the certification program. And here, just some takeouts. This PDF you all will receive. So in the end of the presentation, I'll share a link where you can go there and ask for the file. So don't worry, you don't need to write down anything or to screenshot anything. All of this will be there. And also after, I believe in a few days from now, Sarah and Kelly will make the recording available on YouTube. So don't worry getting notes through the keynote. Okay, here are just some takeouts from these numbers, showing that the lower the tier, the higher the pricing competition. If the bronze agencies, they had a 31% growth on their project's delivery, it's obvious, because if I only have one project and now I have two, I've grown 100%. It's in a percentage measurement, it's easier to grow in higher rates when we are small. Naturally, the biggest we get, the lowest this percentage will be. But what's important here is their average hourly price have decreased 10%. This comparison is in a 3-month period. I had this last analysis in December, and the previous one was in August, if I'm not wrong. Something like this. So they have decreased their hourly rate in 10%, while silver have increased in 2% and gold have increased in 5.4%. Well, I don't know for you guys, but for me, this means something. For me, this is relevant. This means that this group of people is more committed on delivering higher quality projects. Okay, Now, which are some benefits that are exclusive to certified devs? And if you are anxious to go to certification details, hold on, we are getting there. It's as Simon Sinek taught us on the Golden Circle, we must start from why. Why should we do it? Why should we care about it? Okay. So there are some exclusive benefits to certified devs. One of them is the Upwork Bubble Experts Network. It's an exclusive group inside Upwork that's made only by Bubble certified devs who also have an agency plan. Here, there's another good example on how it correlates with our pricing, with our rates, with how we are perceived by the market. The regular Upwork has over 2,000 Bubble developers listed. It's an endless list. If you keep going to the next page, I don't know, you will grow white hair in your head and you don't finish this list. It's an endless list. I went up to around 2000 and quit, gave up on moving forward. So there's this endless list with rates going from $5 per hour. In the other hand, on Upwork's Bubble Experts group, there's only 38 developers, where the average rate, the average hourly rate is $60. So from 5 to 60, it's a huge difference. Yes, you need to renew your certification every year. It has 1 year expiring time, okay? Especially because things change, and now they will change even faster. We are about to have the mobile editor open to everybody. We are about to have the new workflows tab set as a standard. We have Flusk. We have several new things coming up every day. AI is moving really fast and will be every day deeper inserted in the editor. So the fact that I knew something 2 years ago doesn't mean I'm still up to date with that. And if you are active as a developer, it won't be a problem for you to renew your certification. So this is just a sample on the direct effect that if you're not certified, you just can't be here. You just can't be part of Upwork's Bubble Experts. You need to be here between these 2,000 ones fighting for price, charging $5 per hour of work. I don't know you, but for me, it makes no sense to be there. The other exclusive benefit is Contra, another closed group of certified devs. Only certified devs are allowed to be there. And the average rate is $51. And there's only around 40 developers. So it's a really, really, really small group. And I don't know if you ever thought of it, or if you already probably know it, but what makes something increase its price, how rare it is, how hard it is to find. If you offer something that there's several other, if you are among several others similar to you, your pricing perception is lower. If you belong to a group of 40 people your pricing, your value will be perceived differently as if you belong to a group of 2,000 people. It's easy for us to understand it if we think in other aspects of our lives. So in which group do you rather be? So I think it's an easy decision. It's an easy decision, okay? So let's jump into the certification program itself. Yeah, Timothy, just take the renewal. Just take the test. You will get it without any problems. And yeah, Sonia, I really like this approach of being a 0% commission community. It's fully on you. If you charge X, you receive X directly from the client, which is awesome. So the certification program. Now, after 25 minutes of why, let's go to what it is, how it works, how should we prepare to the exam. The why I think I've made myself clear on it. It's more like a validation of your commitment as a professional than a validation of your knowledge, of your actual skills. Because anyone that studies hard, anyone that dedicates to take the exam will pass it. It's not rocket science. Everything is on the manual. Manuals, AI search function even helps us a lot, and it's allowed to use it. So if you really want to get certified, you will get. If you're not skilled enough, if you don't have expertise, real projects expertise enough, you probably won't be the best developer in the world. But it means that if you are a junior developer but certified developer, it means that you are probably the best junior market would want to hire, because you are definitely dedicated and committed to your job, to your career. Okay, so the exam is composed by 90 questions. It has 7 main topics, main subjects, and we need to have a minimum score of 80%. So if it's 90 questions times 80%, you need to get 72 questions right. And Chris, yes, some opportunities recently. When I say recently, I mean especially for the last year or so, until now, some of the best opportunities are requiring certified devs, especially from agencies. Because if this agency is tiered, if it's a silver agency, a bronze agency, a gold agency, it really matters for them to have certified devs. It's a rule for them so they can remain a gold agency or a silver agency or a bronze agency. Okay, so yes, it makes difference. And for non-agency opportunities, I believe that this demand is increasing. This requirement of you being certified is increasing because it's like a badge. It's another trust badge. And when we freelance, especially in our sector that we work worldwide. So, for example, I'm from Brazil. I live in Brazil, but I've worked for projects, I don't know, everywhere: Japan, Dubai, UK, US, Canada, everywhere, even in Brazil. And if someone hires me abroad, overseas, they need to trust me really deeply in order to do it, to share their ideas, to put their product in my hands, to transfer money to me. So I need to build this trust. There are a lot of ways to build trust. Your portfolio is what speaks louder. It's the most relevant one. Your online positioning, your online presence, and what you share, the quality of your community contributions, it all builds your trust, your trustability. And the certification is one more trust badge. It's another stamp that you are probably someone that I can trust, you know? The certification is valid for 1 year, so you need to renew your certification. Mine, I took the first certification 2 days after it launched. It launched on a Friday, I think October 3rd, and I took the exam on Sunday, October 5th. And I've anticipated my renew last year to June, late June, because I wanted to test the new exam platform that was built by AirDev. And I wanted also to refresh my mind on the certification, the questions, the style of it, to my students, to my mentees, to teach them, to help them get certified. So currently, now this number is from today because this is an easier number to get. We have 548 certified devs, active certified devs. Have you guys watched the Benjamin Button film? The incredible Benjamin Button thing. I don't know the original title of the movie, but we have a similar behavior on the certification overall number, the final number of certified devs, because every week that I update the list, this list is shorter than the previous one. If I'm not wrong, on Friday there were 551. On December, when I had the online meetup in Brazil, it were 568 or something, because people that took the exam in the beginning of it are not renewing their certification at the same rate. And currently in Brazil, where I'm from, where I live, we have 68 active certified devs, which is 24 more than we had in December. So only in this first 3 months, on this first quarter, we've increased our Brazilian certified devs rate in over 50%. So now Brazil represents a little over 12% of all the certified devs worldwide. It means that we are really committed to putting our name on the map, and it makes no sense to any of us, especially who's is an English-speaking native person, to take the exam, because English is not our mother language. Michael, yes, I'll even share a GPT bot for you guys to practice questions. This bot is very well trained for the question style, for the content, for everything. Obviously, as any AI, sometimes it hallucinates, sometimes it makes mistakes, but I would say that 98% of the time the questions are really good. Okay, and it's awesome also because after you answer the question, if your answer is wrong, it explains why it's wrong. It tells you why it's wrong. Okay, so it's a pretty interesting resource for you guys. Cool. How the exam works. As I said, it has 90 questions. We need to get 80% of these questions right. So out of 90, we have to have 72 correctly answered. It's not impossible, really, 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 it's not. I couldn't write it down in the PDF in the presentation because I don't want to, I don't know, get in trouble, maybe. But how could you set your mind to the exam? You have 3.5 hours to take the exam, to go through all the 90 questions. It's a lot of time. The exam has easy questions, medium level questions, and more advanced level questions. They are divided kind of following the same percentage. So probably 30 out of the 90 questions will be easy. 30 out of the 90 questions will be medium, and 30 will be more complex. What's my strategy? What's the strategy I suggest you to take? Start answering the easy and medium questions, because some of these questions will be really, really obvious to answer. You will go through it and quickly find the right answer. Answer those. Select your answer, move to the next one. When you find a slight chance of doubts in a question, bookmark it to check back later, because you can move forward to the last one and then come back only to the ones that you've bookmarked. So don't spend time on hard questions or on questions that you are not sure about it in the beginning, because it will make you get tired. It will burn your brain, and this might cause you to miss an easy question that comes after this, because you're already tired, you're out of time, so you get hurry, and it's a problem. In the end, all the questions have the same value, have the same weight. So if you miss an easy question, it has the same value of missing a hard question. So make sure that all the 60 easy and medium questions are correctly answered. You will do it super quickly. I don't know, in 1 hour or less, you can go through all these easier questions. And then you will have over 2 hours to dedicate to these 30 harder questions. You have plenty of time to go through them, to search through the manual, to open your editor, to go through the forum, and etc. So this is a strategy that's been proven to work, okay? And I really recommend you to remember of it when you get to take the exam. So we have 3.5 hours to take it. The certificate lasts for 1 year. After you pay the $49 to get your chances, you have 2 chances in 90 days. So you have 3 months since you purchase the certification attempts to take these 2 exams. If you take one and don't pass it, you can take the other one anytime you want to. But if you take your 2 chances and don't pass and fail on both, you need to wait 2 weeks or 14 days before retaking the exam. Okay? So if I'm in my 90 days of attempts, if I miss my first attempt and I still have the second one inside these 90 days window, I can take it even at the same day or the next day. I don't need to wait any time. But if I took the 2 chances and I want to repurchase my chances, I need to wait 14 days or 2 weeks to do it. Okay, the exam is in English. If you are a non-English speaking person, you can use Google Chrome's or the browser Google Translate extension. I just recommend you to be careful on that because sometimes it can translate, I don't know, dynamic expressions, or it can translate some terms that shouldn't be translated. Okay, so be careful when using it. And in the end, even if, as myself, you're not a native English speaking person, we work with Bubble Editor and it's fully in English every day. So it shouldn't be that hard to understand the questions. Okay, so the exam has 7 main topics, main subjects, with this 80 here with an observation that I will explain. So first topic is bubble interface. Bubble interface is related to the editor, not to UI building, not to design itself. It's related to the editor. So the design tab, workflow tab, backend workflow tab, data tab, settings tab, logs tab, template tab. Inside each of these tabs, the toolbar, the sub tabs, the sub areas inside the editor. So it's related to it. This is the kind of questions that we can't miss because since it's an open book test, we can have some resources that I will show you and explain you which are the authorized resources. Since it's an open book test, you can just have an editor open in your browser. And if you, I don't know, stay in doubt about any of these questions, just go to your design, to your editor, and see with your own eyes. Okay, you don't need to imagine anything. You can go and see it to make sure that you have the right answer. So it's probably the easiest topic of the test, and this is especially why you can't miss such easy questions. This is the kind of question that you need to get all of them correct. Yes, Isaac, you can preview a bubble app during the exam. Obviously, this app can't be, for example, a chatbot in an AI interface that you are asking it about the question. You know, it can't be any resource, any content resource, unauthorized content resource. But yes, you can have an app, even an app, an existing app, a real app with the editor and the preview. Okay, you won't need the preview most of the times. Okay, but if you do, you can use it. After bubble interface, we have layout and styles. Layout and styles, this is related to, especially to UI. This is related especially to the front end. Design good practices, UI guidelines. It will try to understand if you know how to build pages, elements, groups, if you know how to organize elements, to distribute elements in different group alignment types, if you know how to use rows, columns, gap spacings, paddings, conditional logic to make that element or that page responsive, if you know about breakpoints for responsiveness, if you know about styles, how to use styles, because this is kind of obvious using styles, but it's a common mistake we see out there on junior developers, not using styles, actually. We just add the styles in the element, on each element, but we don't use the styles tag. We don't create the styles. We don't create the classes. If we wanted to make a comparison with regular coding, using styles properly is the equivalent of creating classes on CSS. So this may look obvious, but it's not. So don't underrate this topic, this subject. And also, if you get in trouble, if you don't know the answer from the bottom of your mind, go to the editor and create the element that's in the question. You can do it. It's allowed to. Front-end functionality. This is related mostly to front-end workflows, but also to conditionals, but also to dynamic expressions. In dynamic expressions, operators, groups, data sources, data transferring between elements. So it's related mostly to how we manipulate and interact data on client side. The goal today is not to teach a class, to make a class on these, on all of these topics, even because it would be impossible. But you might know that we have client-side actions and server-side actions. Client-side are the actions that happens on user's browser, and server actions on Bubble's browser. So everything that uses logic on client-side, on the user's browser, is inside of this front-end functionality topic. On the other hand, if this logic happens on server side, it's inside back-end functionality. So are the API workflows, database triggers, custom events, server side custom events, webhooks. What else we can put into it? The key aspect here to differentiate front-end functionality from back-end functionality is which kind of thing, which kind of action or event or operator only exists on front-end or only exists on the back-end. For example, database trigger only exists in the back-end. It doesn't exist in the front-end. Show something or hide something or animate something only exists in the front-end. It doesn't exist in the back-end. So it's more for us to understand the difference between these environments of actions and there are different impacts on user experience. Okay, so knowing that everything that runs on client side or front end depends on the user session. So if the user closes the browser or loses connection or just leaves the page, it might break that actions that are running. So this kind of thing, okay? After Bubble interface, layout and styles, front-end functionality, back-end functionality, we have APIs. APIs is have Bubble API, and here we have some, how can I say, a trap. Because when we say API or when we listen the word API, I'm not sure about you, but for me, the first image that comes to my mind is the API connector. Am I wrong? Does it sound to you also like this? The first thing that comes to your mind when you listen API is API connector. But API connector is not the main topic inside APIs. Because when Bubble says APIs, it is talking about Bubble APIs. And Bubble has two APIs, internal APIs. It has data API that manipulates directly the database, and it has API workflows, which are functions, actions that can be triggered externally. So the main topic under this API subject are the Bubble APIs, which are data API and API workflows. API connector is not a Bubble API. API connector is a plugin that allows us to connect to other APIs. These APIs are not from Bubble, are not inherent in Bubble. They are external. So this is why the API connector is not considered a Bubble API. Did I make myself clear on this? This is kind of weird sometimes, but did you understand it? Any questions on this topic? Awesome. Performance. Performance and security are two subjects, are two topics that are not isolated. When we talk about performance, there's no such thing inside the editor called named performance. There's no tab called performance that we could just go there, click a button, and make our app run fast and spend no WOs. There's no such feature for us, unfortunately. Performance and security are spread into the whole development process. When we discuss performance, we are discussing database modeling. We are discussing elements structure, if we are using reusable elements, if we are how we load data, how we transfer data. Sometimes the difference is on how we build the query, the do a search for. We can do a search for from outside in and from inside out. So if I have a list of users and these users have messages related to it, or statuses related to it. So user Pedro has two status, has status teacher and student, for example, okay? It's a random example. And we have a list of statuses with 1,000 statuses. I can do a search for all statuses that are related to user Pedro. So I'll go through 1,000 records to find two, or I can go from Pedro. So current user, for example, or user Pedro statuses. So I'll go through only one item in the database to get this same result. It's the same result, it's the same data set, just the way I've made my query, just the way I've planned my data source structure makes all the difference on performance. You gotta agree with me, that's way faster to find things in only one place than find things among 1,000 of them. Okay, so performance is something that goes through everything we work in the development process. For example, layout and styles, it affects performance. Because if I use the styles properly, my CSS file on my project will be way lighter, so it will load way faster on client side. It will render faster. Everything will run faster. if I don't use styles, if I just keep changing colors, sizes, spacing, and everything on each element, my CSS file will be huge because it will repeat the same rules every among all the elements. So my CSS file will be bigger. It will take longer to load and longer to render. So everything connects to performance. The same way everything connects to database and security, because database and security is the same topics, the same group of subject, especially because they are really connected. Privacy rules is one of the main aspects for security, and it's deeply correlated with database. But security is not only this. Security is way more than this. Security is, for example, if you initialize an API call and you just leave your sample data there, the non-private ones, it is a security problem because it will be visible, it will be accessible openly to any user of your app, any tech-savvy user of your app. My database naming convention, the way I name my data types and my fields, this can be a security problem, especially if I use the full values on these fields. They will be open. The way I use option sets can generate me. It affects my performance, and it also affects my security, because everything that's saved as an option set is by standard non-secure. It's plain data that's loaded on client side. So these are all correlated. As I've mentioned, the goal here is not to teach all of these subjects. It's more to make them clearer if you're not fully aware of them. And here we have Flusk that is not, it has not started to be a part of the questions, but it can start tomorrow, for example. Actually, it should have already started to appear in our certification exams, but it still haven't. I'm part of CAC, of Certification Advisory Committee, and we've created Flusk questions. We've reviewed Flusk questions. We've suggested Flusk questions. So it's already on track to just be deployed. I don't know what they are waiting for, but it will happen anytime soon. So we still have this opportunity window to take the exam without the Flusk questions. But if you take the test tomorrow and the questions are already there, don't worry. Everything is on the manual. Even if you have never used Flusk before, all the answers will be in the manual. Don't worry. It's not that hard. Okay? So study Flusk. It's worth it. The exam has 3 question types. You can have multiple choice but single answer questions. So A, B, C, D, E when only one of them is correct, or true or false. Naturally, only true or false will be correct. You have multiple answer questions. These are a nightmare. These are hell, because I'm sure Devil creates these questions, because let's say it has 5 options, A, B, C, D, E. You are sure about A, you're sure about C, but you're not sure about E. If 3 are correct and you select only 2, you miss the question. Or if you select the 3 of them plus a 4th one, you miss the question. So you need to exactly select only the correct options. There's no half point. There's no half correct. Either it's correct or incorrect. Okay? So please take good care pay a lot of attention to these questions. And you have fill in the blank questions, which are mostly a phrase, a sentence, with some blank or more than one blank space in the phrase, where you will write with your own words, your own keyboard, the word or phrase that is missing there. And this is also very, you need to also be very careful, because it accepts some variation on the on how it's written, but it needs to be very accurate. Okay, so we need to be very, very, very careful on this. As I've mentioned, the test is an open book exam, and you have some authorized resources. We can use Bubble's manual, even the search, the AI search feature in the manual. We can use Bubble Academy classes, only the official ones. We can watch the Bubble official channel on YouTube. You can't watch any other videos that are not from Bubble's official channel, okay? As I also said, the test, the exam is proctored. So your screen is being recorded during the whole exam. Your webcam is recorded. Your mic is recorded. Everything is recorded, okay? Don't worry, Jeremiah. It's getting close to it. 8 minutes from now, you get the link, okay? Bubble blog can also be used. Bubble forum. Naturally, you can't post a thread on Bubble forum asking for the question. You can just look for it. You can search for threads, existing threads or topics, and you can have your app editor open. As mentioned before, we have this opportunity window before first questions start to be part of the exam, before mobile editors leaves the alpha or beta time, and also be part of the test, and other new features. We have a new workflow editor becoming official on April 7th. So in 2 weeks from now, we will have the new workflow tab as the standard. So we need to get used to these new features, to these new elements in the tool. So if we can take it now, it's even better because we are already used to how it works now. Okay. You can't have any external monitor connected during the exam. So for example, if you use a laptop and your laptop is connected to a screen, to a monitor, you can't use both. You need to keep your laptop closed and have only one active screen during the exam. You can't use your phone. You need to have an open mic. You need to have an open webcam. They might ask you to take a selfie during the test. They might ask you for an ID, a document with a photo during the test, and you must be alone in the room. So if you're taking the exam in your home, you need to find a place where no one will enter the space during the exam. Even if it's a child, even if it's an elderly person, it doesn't matter. If someone appears in the camera or if someone talks to you, it might be enough to unclassify you, to make you lose the exam. Okay, so take your time, choose some quiet place to do it. Don't lose the chance. Okay, you even might get banned if depending on what happens. The XM, it's always open, so you can, after you apply to it, you don't need to schedule or talk to anyone. You just go there, click start, and go. So you can do it during the night, anytime. How to get ready? We have the manual, which is the main source of truth to the exam, to everything that's in the questions. We have Pedro Emily books, which are awesome, and especially because Pedro is one of the responsibles for Bubbles manual. So it's a really high value addition to the manual and Bubble Academy and etc. There's my GPT that's for study purpose. Here's the link. You can, as I mentioned, I will give you a link where you will get the PDF and the GPT URL. So you can just take a screenshot or write it down. But don't worry, you will get it right after. Just see here the looks question. Do you know if it's planned to inform attendees of wrong? Look, this is something that we are constantly asking in the on certification committee, but Bubble, Jeremy said already showed interest in doing it, implementing it, but we don't have any confirmations, especially on timelines. But I truly believe that they will do it anytime soon, because we don't need to know which questions we lost, but our rate on our error rate or anything like this on each category, on Bubble interface, front-end workflows, back-end workflows, and so I believe they will provide it anytime, but we still don't have anything. Just to close here, if you are certified and you are an agency, even as a freelancer, you can receive RFPs or requests for proposals. And naturally, the best ones goes to gold agencies, then the silver agencies, then bronze agencies, then unclassified agencies, which are the lower value clients. If you are certified and you have an agency plan, even if you work by yourself, if you recommend a client that signs up for an enterprise plan, you can get up to 20% commission on the revenue that this enterprise plan generates. Yeah, actually, Sonia, the bot will work on English and Portuguese, but yeah, good point. You just need to ask it in which language you rather use it, and it will follow on. If you get certified, you can be part of these special marketplaces like Contra and Upwork Bubble Experts, and you get listed on Bubble's official certification page. So it's also somewhere to a good place to be at. Okay, here it's the link for you to ask for the PDF, and also receiving the GPT link. You can just access this QR code or access the URL here. Let me write it down. Yeah, just go there and your contact details to receive them. You will receive the PDF file and also the GPT link in your WhatsApp. And that's it. Any questions? Anything you might want to ask? Anything that wasn't clear? How can I help you guys? Nothing? All clear? No questions? Either Sonia, that's a good question that I I received this question quite often. And yes, I do plan. Let's do something. If you guys access, let me leave the screen here with the QR code. If you go to the page to receive the PDF and ask for it, you will fill your contact info. I will then write to you asking if you are interested into English classes. I already have over 40 hours of Portuguese questions for certification preparation, and I'm definitely willing also to make it in English. It's just a matter of, I don't know, seeing how many people would be interested into. Oh, you cannot put Spain. Oh God. Yeah, text me, Sonia. I will do it for you. Okay. Thanks for letting me know. I will fix this as up. Any further questions? Anything else that I could help? Thanks again, guys. I'm fully available for any of you who might want to, I don't know, talk. Let me do something. I'm writing down here my WhatsApp number. So if you can't fill the form in the page, text me on WhatsApp, message me there, that I will follow up with you. And thanks also for letting me know Nigeria is unavailable. Okay. Thank you, Emmanuel. It's really a pleasure being here with you guys today. And count on me. Let's work to make our sector, our market more professional, more reliable, and this kind of badges, of trust badges, they are really, really relevant for us as freelancers, as professionals. Okay. Thanks, Yuko. Thank you, Kelly. Thanks, Magdiel. Thank you, Sonia. Thank you, Saji. See you guys. Have a great week. Bye-bye.